Let's get to that Hornets question then. We're getting into the stuff that actually happened now. So Jake G asked, did the Hornets improve this offseason, and did they make the correct move not trying to overpay for a center? My take is yes, we improved, and that Mitch knows what he's doing, so trust in Mitch. So I'll take the lead on the free agency stuff here. I do think Charlotte got better. The Kelly Oubre Jr. signing I really liked. They needed wings. Like, you have Gordon Hayward, and that's kind of it. I don't really consider Miles Bridges a wing, even though he can kind of play the 3 and the 4. Going from Devonte Graham to Ish Smith is definitely a downgrade, but you did get a first-round pick in the Devonte Graham sign and trade. You have Terry Rozier, you have LaMelo Ball. Devonte Graham isn't coming off the best or the healthiest season, so I think they got good value there. I did like the Mason Plumlee addition, as I liked the trade that got them Kai Jones, because they gave up. Don't get me started on the Knicks accepting this heavily protected pick for that spot. So I like their business in some, and I do think they are a better team. Just bake in a second-year LaMelo Ball, and I think Mason Plumlee is solid on offense. He's going to force you to play a very specific way on defense, and if you try and move him away from the basket, it's going to get dicey. But you're not really built to defend anyway. You were playing so small that last season that maybe this is just an upgrade by virtue of having more size or more operable size in heavier minutes. At the same time, to the center point, could they not have gotten Cody Zeller back for more than the minimum that he signed with Portland? And he was like okay in switching schemes for them last year. And the other thing I'll say, had Richaun Holmes gotten like $18 million, I might have been, they didn't have to overpay for a center. He re-signed just for early bird rights in Sacramento. I was floored. That just averages out. It was like 4 years and 46. It was misreported at 55 at first. Everyone caught it. It was illegal because the Kings didn't have cap space at that number. So if Richaun Holmes was just going to follow the bag, then yeah, I would have liked to have seen the Hornets had been like, hey, here's 456 or something, because that's not overpaying for Richaun Holmes in my book. Overall, though, and look, the James Bouknight pick, I think that was, they needed wings, and I like the idea of having him there as well. So I do think they're a better team. They're still unsettled at center, and I don't think they have like a really good defensive wing at this point. Kelly Oubre Jr. is probably or maybe it's Miles Bridges if you want to say that he's going to defend a bunch of wings. I just don't know when you don't have the best defensive centers behind you at the moment. Like Kai Jones is not going to be contributing from day one. Vernon Carey, if they play him this year with the big league team, like he's not going to give you a ton defensively either. So you probably want to be sturdier on the perimeter defensively than you actually are. But I don't know why you would. I think they've sneakily had a rock solid offseason, I would say.
I think the best thing about their offseason is that they didn't try to do too much. It would have been nice to see them make that big play for Richaun Holmes, for Jarrett Allen, even though he signed at a pretty expensive price point to return to the Cleveland Cavaliers. But they didn't do anything wrong. Devonte Graham is a significant loss, but you replace him with Ish Smith, you can give more minutes to Grant Riller, and I say that without a hint of bias there. Brad Wanamaker can do something. Didn't they cut who?
Grant Riller? Didn't they waive him? I thought I sent you
if they
in
did,
memoriam
then I missed
text that happened.
I don't think so, unless I've just totally missed something. But we'll have to look that up now.
He is no longer a member of the Hornets.
He's going to be freed somewhere. Yep, Maxwell Millington says that as well. I apologize.
This is gutting.
They had a terrible offseason. I have changed my tune here. Charlotte fucked up.
And that's clearly
That's all I got. I need a moment here.
Clearly,
I can't believe I'm finding this out on a live episode.
I thought I could have sworn I texted you to like condolences, but you were probably on vacation. I didn't want to bother you. Maybe that's what happened. But
that's the issue, is that I was on vacation for some of these moves and just totally missed it.
I think I will say
I need like a minute to recover my composure here.
It's okay. I'll vamp to the kids for a second. I think the Hornets had a rock solid offseason overall, even if there were things I would change. And like maybe Richaun just wanted to stay in Sacramento because he hit like 99% of his floaters. And he's a really good rim runner. And I think he's better on defense than people give him credit for. But overall, I think you could say that the Hornets with cap space are one of the most terrifying propositions if you're a Hornets fan or even a Hornets fan adjacent, just based off some of the past decisions they did, and including the Gordon Hayward contract, which I think looks a lot better now, but it was killed in the moment. The fact that this is what they did where they just kind of, they picked up some assets for Devonte Graham. They did. Letting Malik Monk walk outright was a little bit curious, but he ended up signing for the minimum. So clearly people were lower on him than after this season I expected them to be. I don't know if I think he had an ankle injury to end the year, so maybe that was part of it, but his career trajectory has been all over the place. But I think they didn't do anything damaging, and so you have to credit them for that. And I do think they just made some nice moves. So the Grant Riller decision aside, I think their offseason has been better than fine.
Yeah, and you can count on so much internal improvement here, too. We saw how much the LaMelo Ball-Miles Bridges connection developed during the second half of the season. Year 2 of that should be incredibly exciting. They seem to be in a better rhythm with how to deploy Terry Rozier next to LaMelo Ball and in his stead. That should be exciting in year 2 if Gordon Hayward can stay healthy. This is still an immensely talented team. It's probably not going to be the youngest team to win an NBA championship. To cycle back to the very first question.
Not without Grant Riller on the roster.
Not without Grant Riller on the roster.